Welcome back. I had hoped you wouldn't need to come see me again so soon. What can I do for you?
So you're looking for the man who shot you, huh? I can't say I'm surprised. It's only natural to want to seek revenge against someone who's done you harm. But before you go rushing off to track down this person, I'd like to offer some advice. Revenge can be a dangerous thing, both physically and emotionally. It's important to take a step back and consider the consequences of your actions. Have you considered what you'll do once you find this person? Will you try to reason with them, or will you resort to violence? And if you do decide to use violence, are you prepared for the possible consequences? There's always a risk that things could go wrong, and you could end up getting hurt or even killed. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pursue this person, but I would encourage you to do so with caution and careful planning. And remember, sometimes the best revenge is simply living well and moving on from the past. Well, that's certainly an unusual request. As you know, ghouls are often subject to discrimination and mistreatment in the wasteland, so it's understandable that they might be looking for a way out. That being said, launching a group of ghouls into space is not something to be taken lightly. It's a risky proposition, both for the ghouls and for anyone involved in the launch process. Before making any decisions, I would advise taking the time to gather more information about the situation. Talk to the ghouls and find out more about their reasons for wanting to be sent into space. Are they hoping to start a new life on another planet, or are they simply looking for a way to escape the wasteland? You'll also want to assess the risks involved in the launch process. Is the technology and equipment in good working order? Or is there a chance of something going wrong? What kind of support will the ghouls need during the launch process and beyond? Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to help the ghouls is up to you. But make sure to weigh the risks and benefits carefully before making a final decision. If you do decide to help them, make sure to take all necessary precautions and be prepared for the possibility of unforeseen challenges. Well, to put it simply, ghouls are created when humans are exposed to a high level of radiation. The radiation changes their cells, slowing down the aging process and giving them a unique appearance. Some people become ghouls almost immediately after exposure, while others may take longer to show signs of ghoulification. The process is different for everyone, and not everyone who is exposed to radiation will become a ghoul. Ghouls are often shunned by society due to their appearance and the fact that they can live for hundreds of years. Some ghouls are lucky enough to find acceptance among humans, while others are forced to live in isolation or with other ghouls. As a doctor, I've treated my fair share of ghouls over the years. They may look different than humans, but they still have the same basic medical needs. It's important to treat them with the same level of care and respect as any other patient, regardless of their appearance. There's still much we don't know about ghoulification, but it's clear that radiation plays a key role in the process. It's a reminder of the dangers of exposure to radiation and the need to be cautious and prepared when dealing with radioactive materials.
Well, I already told you I came from a vault. After that, I was a traveling doctor for a spell. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Most folks out here ain't educated, so people with medical know-how are hard to come by. I found that I could help a lot of people with what I knew, and that was all right with me. Eventually, I went back and married my childhood sweetheart, and that was the end of my traveling days. Didn't miss it none then. Still don't.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry to hear that things had to end that way. But it's good that you were able to find closure and bring some measure of justice for what he did to you. I'm not going to pass judgment on what you did, as I believe that each person must make their own decisions and live with the consequences of their actions. But I will say this: revenge is a powerful emotion, and it's important to be mindful of its potential effects. Sometimes, even when we think we've moved on, the desire for revenge can linger and affect us in ways we don't expect. It's important to take the time to process what's happened and to find healthy ways to cope with our emotions. If you ever need someone to talk to about what you've been through, know that I'm here for you. Sometimes just talking about our experiences with someone who understands can be a healing and cathartic experience.
This here's Good Springs, named after the water we got here, just down the road to the southeast. Good Springs Source, they call it. It's a quiet town, and that's how we like it. We don't go looking for trouble, though occasionally it sees fit to come looking for us. Well, there's a general store just up the road, run by a fella named Chet. He don't got nothing fancy, but he's got your basics covered. If you're looking to wet your whistle, just past Chet's is the Prospector Saloon. The bartender there, Trudy, knows everyone in town. Other than that, there's not much to see. Just people trying to scratch out a living. That'd be Victor. Curious fella. He's sort of odd, and I don't just mean 'cause he's a robot. I couldn't tell you much about him. He's real friendly, don't get me wrong. You just get the sense that ain't the whole picture. Just a feeling. He keeps to himself, mostly. You want to know more about him, you'll have to ask him yourself. He has a shack on the southern edge of town. I didn't see him or the men with him. You might ask around town, though. Could be someone saw which way they was headed. Your best bet would probably be Trudy, the bartender at the saloon up the road. If anyone saw anything, she'd know about it.
And finally, Courier, I personally think you should get onto your Pip-Boy that I gave you and subscribe to KnightRaven on YouTube. This guy has been uploading a video showing off various mods created for Fallout New Vegas every single day for over a year. What a psychotic society.
Hail the People's Republic!